Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is an M22 Locust. It's a Tier 3 American premium light tank, and this one's located on the south spawn of Abbey under the command of Ramtough of RTR. Now, the Locust, 37mm gun, 40 alpha. It's got a fire rate of 2.2 seconds per round, and it's actually a tank that was designed to be transportable by air. Unfortunately, though, they had to remove the turret to do that and carry it separately, and it was deemed impractical for actual use. So, despite the fact that they built 260 of these, only 5 ever saw combat, and the rest of the times it was used as a training tank. Okay, well, we've reached the Abbey grounds and there's no enemy in sight, so we're popping into the Abbey. Okay, you have to be careful when coming in sometimes because the enemy might spot you and they can start firing. Well, the M2 light is going up ahead. Oh, we spotted someone. I think we spotted the Su-18, so we'll get the spotting damage. We get shots on him. Well, the M2 light is firing loads of rounds in. We're dialing in. And one shot kills him. So, first kill goes to Ramtough. He's pulled back into cover. Don't want any return fire from any friendly tank or enemy tank that saw you do the kill. Right, well, a lot of enemy have been spotted over on the west side of the map, but it looks like we can't get shots on them because they're all behind the buildings. An L60, an MKA. Yeah, they're all on the river road and headed south. So I don't think we've got any anything to fire at here. Okay, well, Ramtough's turning around. He's looking for targets in the cap area. Whoa! These tanks can flip very easily. Be very careful. He almost flipped over there on the side. He's having a look. That's what I always worry about in low-tier tanks. You really have to be careful you don't flip yourself out. Oh, that was an enemy tank firing in there. You saw an explosion against the wall. Okay, can you see any enemy tanks here? There's some over on the west side of the map, and it looks like they're headed towards our cap. Okay, Rem's going down there to have a look, see if he can get shots. There's a jet track there. He's auto-aimed. No, didn't get any hits. There's a T-18 HMC in the cap area. That's the Tier 3 American SPG. There's a pair of M2 lights coming up into the cap area. Oh, narrowly missed getting a hit on one of them. But they're going after the T-18. Oh, and they must be using APCR because that armor on that SPG is very tough. And they've killed him. And Ramtough's auto-aiming on them. Sometimes better to do it manually aiming. And he gets a hit there with a manual aim. 36 hit points. Can he get a shot in the M2? Nope. Okay, well, they've headed off down to the west side. They've just killed our M1542. Trying to get shots. Oh, he bounced off one of them. Well, he's been joined by company. He's got an MKA, a Strib M38 for company. Well, it looks like the Strib's going off to do something elsewhere. I think he recognises there's a Cruiser 3 nearby, and there's no enemy in the cap area at all. No, there's nothing to shoot at. Well, Ramtough's headed in the same direction as his teammate, the Strib. Trying to deal with this Cruiser 3. Now, can he get over the road? Oh! Ow! Oh, has he flipped? No. Oh, thank God. For a second, I thought he flipped himself. for the second time in one game. And the Cruiser 3's been killed. That was almost very, very dicey. You still can't see any of the enemy. Let's have a look. Okay, well, there is an L60 just the other end of the Abbey Road. Oh, just got a bounce from a FCM36 and an M3 GFT fired at him. Ramtoff's going off with the L60, gets 2 rounds in, and the 3rd round finishes him off. He did lose a few hit points though to the L60. Can't get a shot on that M2 Light. Not from here. Well, it's only 3 versus 4 at the moment. Oh. There's one of the M2 Lights. We've auto-aimed onto him. First one didn't penetrate the armour, and it looks like that M2 Light's firing APCR at us, and he got some rounds through, but he's on reload, and Ram should be able to take him out of the game. Next shot, yes, got him. 3rd kill. But he was hitting the engine, he's had to repair that, and he'll need to put his driver back in and does that. Okay, there's the other M2 Light. He's also firing APCR, I think. Yes, and he's out the game. So that's how they managed to kill the T-18 HMC. They use APCR on him. That's going to be very expensive for them at the end of the battle. Thankfully, Ramtoff is not using APCR at the moment. He does have 10 in reserve, but he's firing standard AP. Now it's 2 versus 2. He's got the AMX-38 and him versus an FCM-36 and an M3 GFT. Now that's the Chinese tank destroyer, and the one with the big gun shield. And the MX-38 is the French Tier 3 light tank, if I remember correctly. And that one's got good armour, except at the rear. And the same with the FCM-36. If you can shoot it in the rear with AP, you'll get pens. But if you try and shoot at the front, you will need the APCR. So Ram's put himself in this bush, and from this position, he's nicely concealed. The enemy won't spot him until it's too late, until he starts firing at them. Yep, and he's far enough away. Yes, he's actually in a dip as well, so he's actually hull down. So it's going to be very difficult for the enemy to see him. They might not see him at all if he can get the shots in. He's not using the bush mechanic because obviously he's actually in the bush, so they would see that, but they might not be able to spot where the shots are coming from or actually be able to shoot him in the hull. They might have to shoot at his turret, and that's a very small target because it's a tiny little turret. Only carries 2 men in the turret, 1 man, the driver, in the actual hull, and the commander of the tank had to be the loader as well, whilst the gunner would just aim the gun. Yeah, they made 260 of these, and they just sat in a tank park for the whole battle. Well, since I think it was 1942, 1943, they were shipped over to the UK. They built them in America. The Americans used them as training tanks for a while. There was a unit that was built for the American Army, the US Army, I should say, not the American Army, and they were used for training purposes. And the unit kept being moved around from one part of the States to the other until they were ready for use, but they never actually got around to using them. The AMX-38 saying, "I'm a rock with the speed of a..." Well, he said speed of something. Now we're just waiting for one of the enemy to turn up, and he's turned up. It's an... over there. There's the M3 GFT. I'm a rock with the speed of a dead turtle and a potato gunner for cannon. Yes. Now, let's see Ramtoff get the hits. He's auto aimed on. Need to manually aim these shots because he's going to drop below the ridgeline. Gets 2 shots in. Gets the third in. Can he get the kill shot? No, 2 hit points. And now that he's auto-aiming, he's actually hitting the ridgeline, not the tank, because he's the center mass of the vehicle has dropped below the ridgeline. So every shot you fire is going to hit the ground. You need to manually aim those shots. Oh, he's popped up again. He doesn't know where you are. And you're auto-aiming. Manually aim. Manually aim. That's it. One shot. All it will take into the gun shield. Beautiful. Got him. Now, it's just that FCM 36. And so with that one, you'll need the APCR if you fire at the front. But if you're going to fire at the rear... And here he comes! He's in sight! He came the direct way because he's so slow. Okay, Ramtop is hunting wabbits. He's very, very quiet. And the FCM's coming towards that side, but we've lost sight of him. It's behind the rock. I think he'll go the other side because you wouldn't want to come around this corner because the cap's not this side. The cap's the other side. There he goes. He's in the cap. Aiming for center mass, you see. Need the APCR. Firing APCR, getting hits. Needs to move. Bounced that one. Oh, took around from the FCM. He's dropped his hit points. Oh, he bounced around. Missed that one. Go for the kill shot. Yes! Wins the game. Beautiful spin turn at the end. That was lovely. And that was also a Top Gun. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. It's a first-class tank of a ramped up in the M22 Locust. He picked up a Fire for Effect, a Duelist, a Hand of God, and a Bruiser medal out of the minor medals. But this is the good bit. He picked up a Spartan. When he bounced that round from the FCM-36 right at the end, when he had less than 10% of his hit points left, he earned a Spartan medal. They're difficult to get because you have to survive the battle in order to get one, having bounced around with very low hit points. But he also picked up a Top Gun. That FCM was his 6th kill right at the end. And he also got a Winator 4624, which is Super Unicum level. So well done indeed. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, he's got the highest damage, 603 hit points out of that one. The next highest score was the M3G FT with 596. And then after that was the Panzer 1C with 437 on the enemy team. When it came to the number of kills, he got the top again, 6 kills. The M3G got 4. There's a couple of tanks with 3, including the AMX-38, who picked up a cool-headed. And then when it came to base XP, yep, he's got the top one again. He's got a clean sweep at the top with 793 base experience points. Then comes the AMX-38 with 446. And it looks like a tie for the next highest one, which with the M1542, he also picked up a cool-headed, got 384 base experience points, as the same as the Panzer 1C on the enemy team. Oh, let's have a look at detail report. Well, he fired 38 rounds. He got 21 direct hits and 17 penetrations. Damage of 603 hit points, of which 25 are at more than 300 meters. He received 26 hits from the enemy during that game. 14 of them were penetrations, 12 non-penetrations. So he did receive a lot of hits from those M2 lights, which were spamming APCR like it was going out of fashion, and block damage of 160 hit points. He spotted one enemy vehicle, damaged 6 of the enemy, killed 6 of the enemy, and got 45 hit points of damage assistance and 25 defense points when he took on the FCM 36 in the cap. On a premium count, he earned 24,386 credits, and after repair and ammunition resupply, took away 17,043 credits. He picked up 1,189 XP, got 714 because this is a premium vehicle, and took away 1,903 experience points altogether. Oh, pretty good round. And he says in the title, "Forgive me, Father, for I've sinned." Well, that's because Ramtup is an Arty player, and he killed an Arty right at the start of the game. But don't worry, it was the red Arty. He's obviously needs to be killed in order for you to win the game, and therefore it's perfectly acceptable to take him out of the game. So well done. That was a really good battle. If you enjoyed that replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hope it'll be your replay that I'll be featuring in the next video.